All right. Okay. So again, welcome everybody to the August 8th meeting of the San Bruno Amateur Radio Club. Woo woo! Good to see everybody here. Craig, good to see you. Tony, good to see you. Walt, Ron, John, Ron, Matthew, Tom, Janet, Greg, Ollie, everybody. It's good to see everyone. I kind of said this is going to be kind of boring to everybody in a sense, because what we've done in the over the last week and a half is we have arranged to have a ham cram, which the club is sponsoring on September 10th of this year at the Mormon Church on Sneath Lane. Okay, and it's going to be put on by John. Tell me, it's Bears, right?
Yep,
Bears, and it's going to be a really good thing, and it's pointed to people like, thank you for coming, Greg. And Craig, because we have 6 members who are not licensed. Okay, we have 6 members, and 2 of them are here tonight, Craig and Greg. And I'm not sure if we'll ever get Craig to do this, but I would love him to do it, to become licensed. And I know Greg has shown some interest because his wife told me he likes little walkie-talkies. So
let me say 2 things.
Okay, go for it, Craig. In your defense.
Ages ago, we talked about buying some little cheap radios for kids and training them to use them. And is this something we could do in conjunction with this? And second, I'm not going to be doing this right now. I just got diagnosed with stage 1 cancer last week.
Oh.
So which stage 1 is it's the best one to have,
Yeah.
I think my mind's going to be elsewhere for a while.
Well, this could, there's 2 ways of looking at it, Craig. One is it could be a distraction,
And at some point that might be the case, but right now it isn't.
But, in that situation, I can understand that you're totally distracted.
Yeah, a little. And it's
I
ironic.
get that.
My excuse last year was March went through breast cancer, which was.
How's she doing it? Because I just saw her in a meeting.
She's doing really well.
That's what I thought.
Everything is on track as best it could be.
That's what I like.
She's back volunteering at the library and doing.
That's what we were in. We were in a library meeting.
Right, exactly. Right now we're trying to backtrack a little bit because given my situation, I certainly wouldn't want to get COVID right now prior to treatment for cancer. I have a friend that would complicate things way more than they should be. So we're kind of logging down and being careful again. So,
I'm totally in agreement with you, Craig, and I'll do whatever I can.
Thank you.
I like it. I like it.
Well, I have to admit,
in total support of you, Craig. Whatever.
I have a lot of friends all over the world. I do conference calls on a weekly basis with people from Dublin and England and Holland and Helsinki, and I'm just part of this community of science fiction people. And I think here in the Bay Area, people are still being more responsible about wearing masks and being careful than anywhere else that I can think of from what I hear.
I agree.
I think you're probably right, but so anyway, listen, with that said, and I'm Craig, and I'm sure everyone with us in this meeting tonight is wishing you all the best, and I hate to say I'm happy at stage 1.
Well,
if it's going to be anything, I'm happy it's that stage.
This was my attitude. It's if we're going to do it, have the easiest one to deal with. In fact, it looks like they may just have to do radiation. We're having discussions with the surgeons and stuff. of course, the surgeons want to do surgery because that's the gold standard, right? You know, because, but they're especially at my age and my condition, surgery is an issue in and of itself, you know. So, you know, there's all those factors. So we're meeting, we're trying to work this out. I have Kaiser, which I've generally been very happy with. I'm not unhappy with them now. It's nice that it's, I cannot imagine going through something like this and having to deal with 15 different service providers that may or may not be connected to your insurance company. You know what I mean? You know, I have to find a surgeon. Okay, I have to find someone else. You know, and this is one of the reasons I'm really glad I'm with Kaiser. So
I think you're having talked to, you know, I think we all, I don't know. I mean, I'm a Kaiser customer too, but I certainly can tell, everybody can tell stories one way or the other. I think I think you're in a good place. I think they're going to do well by you. And again, all the going best. But I think I probably am going to take a moment here, share my screen, and kind of run down with what I was going to work on here. And that's, I put together a little PowerPoint, which you'll all probably say, oh, not another friggin' PowerPoint. And I'm going to say, if you can bear with me.
Just don't read the words on the PowerPoint.
You know what I know? I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Okay, so where's the slideshow? Okay. Play from start.
While we're waiting, Craig, early stage 1, great. Early detection is the key.
Yep.
Well, you know,
got a good chance.
The irony is I went into my doctor because I was having some back pain, which I still have, and we haven't got to that issue, but it's not as important, you know, but I went in because of some back pain, and they did an x-ray, and then they did a CT scan, and they did the high level CT scan. And then they went, oh yeah, we got a problem here. But it was ironic that what I went in for was not what happened. And thankfully we found that really early.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not going to read this slide, but you see what today is? Okay, so I'm going to go over to here. So anyway, we've got some topics here. All right. These are the little things that I want to make sure that I hit tonight. Okay, so we're working on becoming the 501c3 charity, or not charity, but a nonprofit. I made a mistake when I filed the original papers, and the state has been making me pay for it, as Matthew is aware, ever since. I'm recording this and I'm going to put it up on YouTube, so I'm not going to tell you exactly what my friends at the state of California have done to help me learn about how to perform a 501c3. But if you go to coffee, I'll be happy to tell you the background. But just we'll lead this as saying it will happen, it will work. It's just a couple extra steps. The main topic I wanted to start with tonight was actually talking about the ham cram September 10th. I've got 2 potential unlicensed folks here who will benefit from that. But I want to also talk about some folks who may not be licensed, who may want to upgrade. So that we'll come to that. And I also want you to know that we're going to have 2 coffee and a radio dates this month. And what those dates are, I'll hit those dates later. And then I have a couple of questions about equipment because I want to find out some things, okay? So with that said, let's go to the first thing. So the 501(c)(3), as I said, I'm still working with the state of California. And once I get this cleared up, then I'm going to continue on, and I think we'll be fine. Okay, so the ham cram is going to take place Saturday, September 10th. It's going to be 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. And it's going to be located at the Church of the Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints, which is 975 Sneath Lane in San Bruno, which is everyone probably knows is across from the cemetery. I saw the facility when I helped the Red Cross with the Golden Eagle exercise that they had. And one of the guys involved with that, Doug Kuntz, who is also the Red Cross representative to the Emergency Preparedness Committee, is a member of that church and made the space available for that exercise. And I said to him, I said, would you guys be interested in hosting a ham cram? And he said, yeah, sure. So I talked to a friend of John Swallow's, Ross Peterson, who is kind of runs these things. And he was looking for a spot for the fall in the North County. I said, we've got a spot. So between, I introduced Doug and Ross at the disaster preparedness event, a week and a half ago, and they exchanged information. They worked it out, and so we're going to be doing it there, and I think it's a good spot to do it. We originally were concerned about the capacity, but I think now we've figured out that we're going to have a capacity of basically anyone who wants to get a license, or more importantly, upgrade a license, such as Ollie's son, who he's going to probably work on, and his young son will probably say, oh, I don't have time, but whatever. It's going to be there. The particulars are like this. And John, correct me if I'm wrong. If you go for the ham cram, which is basically where you learn enough information so that at the end of the day you can pass the test. Usually their pass rate is somewhere in the 93 to 96% rate. From what Ross was telling me today, it's $35. If you only walk in and just want the test, for instance, as I think, Tom, you did this in San Carlos, right? You basically just want to go in there, take the test, that's $14. The $35 represents the 14 plus what they charge. So it's either $35 or $14, depending on what you're going to do. So that's when it's going to be. That's where it's going to be. And this will be the first time, to my knowledge, that we've done a ham cram and a test for a large number of people in North County for a while. So we're going to do in San Bruno. I can't get it much closer to you folks, but that's what we're going to do. Okay. So right now, there's going to be a sign up spot for this, so they can tell you what to bring, what you need to do ahead of time to get ready for this ham cram. What Ross was basically telling me is they don't advise you to study anything, because their method of doing this is basically short-term memorization, which will get you through it. So it's basically, you don't have to do much except some things that will get down to the bottom, and if you sign up for it on their site, when their site is working, which it is not right now, unfortunately. I was talking to Ross about that. They'll send you the information, which will be directions. You guys probably all know where the church is, and the times and the particulars and all. It's okay. So it should be lots of, as I said, there's going to be, you can come in just at the door as long as you've got all your stuff ready to go. $35. There's going to be a 1 hour. Craig, forgive me, I'm reading this. There's going to be a lunch break somewhere along the line. John can probably tell us when that is. You have enough time to go over to Wendy's or whatever's close by and get something to eat. And then come back, and about 4 o'clock is when they actually do the tests after you've done your studying. An FRN is needed before the test. So to get an FRN, you go to this site on the FCC site, and you can see it. It's core/use your login, and you go for the middle. It says need a username, and that you fill that out, and you'll end up with your FRN. You need your FRN before the test to get put on the form so that you can, after you pass, these guys, remember the folks who do this are called VEs, volunteer examiners, and they send it to a group that's called what? Volunteer examiners.
Coordinator.
What's the C stand for, John?
Coordinator.
Coordinators. And they in turn send it to the FCC. Now, it used to be that when you sent it to the FCC, they'd simply send you back your call sign, and you'd get an email that said, "Congratulations, here's your call sign." Well, over this year, I think in July or June, whatever it was, the FCC finally imposed their $35 charge to get a license. So now the game is, yeah, Tom, I told you to get it early and you did it. You saved 35 bucks, okay? The game is that the FCC gets your information. They send you an email. That's one of the things you have to have in ahead of time, is a good email that you can actually follow. And so you get an email that says, you have 10 days to pay us $35 if you want that license. And apparently they may not follow up and give you another chance. So that's the way the game's played. So you pay at the door, and then down the line, when the FCC gets paperwork, they tell you that you owe them $35. You pay them the $35, and then you get a call sign. So I know most of you are probably know that. So that's basically to Greg. That's basically to Greg. Does that make sense to you guys? Any questions? Oops. Good. Janet, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
$35 is $15 less than the FCC was going to charge under the old FCC.
That's true. They
framework.
tried to get 50, and they got pushback from ARRL and a lot of us, and they dropped it down to 35.
Yeah, which
That's
is good.
appreciated. So yeah, that was a good thing.
If you already have a license, on your license certificate, you should have an FRN already assigned to you.
Yeah,
So
you do.
You don't need a new one.
And they've gone to, no, you don't need a new, you don't need a new. Once you get one, you get one. Like I looked myself up just for grins, and I found my my nephew, who also has an FRN because he has a radio license as a pilot. And he actually shows up under the database, and he has an FRN too. So yeah, that's all good stuff.
For those of us who are looking at possibly upgrading, there used to be a requirement to bring both the original and a copy of your original license certificate. I don't believe
that. I don't believe Ron that's anymore. But John, no, because I upgraded from in April. April? Was it, Tom, was it April or March?
It was this spring.
It was spring. Okay, thank you. It was either April or March. When I upgraded from my general to my extra in the spring, that as Tom noted, I didn't have to bring anything except my FRN number. And then once you've done that, then they figure it all out. And I eventually got a new form from the FCC that said I'm now an extra. So no, it's easier than that. All you have to do is make sure you know your FRN. Okay. Anything else? Ron, I want you to do it. Go for it.
I have a question.
Ron, you're a general now, right?
Yeah.
I really would like some of us to consider getting extras, okay?
Right.
And the one reason is that I got an extra, besides the fact that I just wanted to, say, I'm better than you are, is that what I allowed me to do is become a VE. And the VE is the folks who can do these tests. John's a VE, Mr. Swallow's a VE, I'm a VE. I'm Ron Nicholson. Are you a VE? He's watching the game. Janet, you want to know what the score is? Okay.
What's that?
But one of the reasons I want to become an extra is so that I can get involved in the testing process. So at some time we have enough people within our club, and we need 3 at any one time minimum, right, John?
That is correct.
Okay, we need 3 to give a test. And so let's, if we ever...
You also need somebody, a coordinator.
Correct.
Like Ross, to pick up all the information and send it into W5YI.
Correct. So you need to be able to do that and then send it to the place that he sent, or ARL, or one of the coordinating sites. But anyway, but we have to have some more. It would be really handy to have a few more extras. So if anyone's interested in doing that, I'll be more than happy to encourage you. It can be done. If I can do it, you can do it. So, you know, so let me move on and we'll come back and we'll kind of talk about this in general. So I think that takes care of the basic of what the Ham Cram is doing. Do pass the word out. I know that at the disaster preparedness, I had a bunch of EMTs come to me and they said they had some folks within their group wanting to become hams. I know that there's some folks from the South City CERT who want to get some hams, and I can't remember, but I'm going to spread the word out around the area so that we can get as many people licensed or upgraded. So, and I want you guys to feel free to participate in doing that. We should have some good space, and it's close by. That's the beauty of it. It's close. You know, I mean, I got my first set of licenses on the internet, which was interesting and novel, but you know, going down to San Carlos wasn't bad for me to get my extra, but the thought that I could go over to Sneath Lane and get it is kind of nice too. So anyway, so moving right along. As I said, we're going to have two meetups.
Janet has a question.
Janet, please go ahead.
I just wanted to comment that the South San Francisco CERT group, nearly every one of them is also a ham operator.
Right.
They're one of the few cities that have that, that are like that.
Distinction.
Yeah.
Well, that's
really
interesting. I was talking to the guys on that Saturday, Janet and I and Ron, the other Ron. We got 3 Rons in the neighborhood. I was talking to Steve Furpo, and he was telling me that the numbers have fallen off for that CERT group. He says that they have fewer members of CERT who are showing up and doing anything. But he says the ones that are showing up are the ones who are also hams, which I thought was really interesting. And I talked to John Stone, who again is over there, and I think that John Swallow knows who that is also. And he told me that he's just become an ARRL VE, and he, you know, and I'm doing the same thing so I could help him and he can help us, because they apparently have some folks within their CERT group who are not currently hams that they would like to have become hams. So, you know, yeah, the more the merrier. But it is nice to be able to do it locally, and we're doing it. So back to this, the coffee and a radio, which I think we've had really good success. Almost half of the members have shown up at least one of these. So the first one in the month is going to be on this Thursday at 9 a.m. Again, Starbucks seems to work well. We're going to try something else different in the future, but right now that works pretty well. So it's going to be Starbucks at 9:30. Now, I've always had some feedback from folks who said, well, but I work on the weekends. I work during the week. Can we do it on the weekends? So at the end of the month, on the 27th, we're going to do it again on a Saturday at Starbucks, again at 9:30. So 2 of those this month. We'll see how that works. I think everybody who's shown up in the past has had a good time and enjoyed what we've done. So, you know, we're gonna, as I say, we're gonna try that one again. Okay. And I think that's where we are. So I'm gonna quit sharing because I can let you bring us some things. And so we're gonna quit this. Can I quit this? Come on, I want to quit sharing. Stop share. Here we go. Okay, good. Almost everybody who was here before is still here. Thank you for not running away. And Malcolm is still trying to figure out how to get in. Okay.
I have one or two things to say about the exam.
And just as a second, just to say this. John participates in the as a VE, and I think, how many have you gone to, John, or been involved in?
27 last time.
27. Okay. So there's my expert. And if we have any questions, direct them in, and he's going to give you even more and better information. Go, John.
After having done this for several years, the things that you may not be aware of if you're thinking about coming out is watching paint dry is more exciting. What you should do is not study beforehand because it'll just confuse you. But do get a good night's sleep before you show up, because by the time you're done, your brain will be fried. But it is true that we have almost in the mid 90s of people come through. I think we had 38 last time, and only one person didn't pass. So it's what it is. But we often have, well, pre-COVID, we had like 100 to 150 people. Okay, and we cranked. W5YI has put out a new digital grading system for us. And I think this time or last time, I wasn't at the last one. We're gonna try and use it. So that just means that your score will come out faster. So you won't have to wait around as long. But the key is that you show up at 8 o'clock. You study for 6 sets of 6 hours with a 1 hour break in between. The 6 hours, you have 15 minutes off. So you have 45-minute blocks, 6 45-minute blocks. And basically you just read the right answer, the question and the right answer. Don't look at the wrong answers. And you go through it 2 or 3 times. Each section, we give you the test. The test looks just like the study material, except the right answer is not at the end. And that's it. Like I said, 95% of the people pass, and it's really good. I guess that's all I was going to say. Is that a lot of people pass. It's a good method for getting your license, but you know absolutely nothing about operating a radio. So you'll get your license, and then you learn from your friends, your Elmers, how to actually do what you want to do. But this gives you permission to do it. So that's it for the test.
Perfect. Greg, do you catch that? Are we going to see you there on the Saturday?
I don't think I'll be able to go. I'm having to isolate.
Gotcha, Craig. I'm going to ask that. I got you where you are, Craig. Just below you on my screen is Greg Burns, who you're going to be there.
He's giving us a thumbs up.
Good. The one thing I'm going to make a suggestion. I'm going to ask anybody who's here. Has anyone tried doing the technician, which is the first level, and the general at the same time and been successful? Raise your hands. Put your hand up, Tom. Okay, and Ron and Tony. Okay, if there's one thing you can do now, my question to John is, can you, through the ham cram, study yourself and get both of those, or is that something you should do and then just walk in and take the tests?
The answer is we do not have a cram for extra.
No, I know that, but you do for general.
You have to study externally and just pay the $14.
Right, but the general.
We did have last time or the time before, we had a guy come in and do a trifecta, and he came in, started his technician, then took his general, then took his extra, and he passed all of them.
Does somebody have a TV in the background or something? I'm hearing something in the background.
Somebody has a radio on.
Radio, TV, or something.
I'm hearing that too.
Could you look around, and it sounds like right now it's a woman's voice.
Just mute your microphones.
Okay.
Mute microphones if you're not talking.
Oh, I think somebody took care of that. Okay, good. Thank you.
But the thing is that you have to do your technician and pass your technician before we're allowed to give you the general.
Right.
But if you, in fact, if you want, you could just walk in and say, okay, I want to study. Give me the general, give me the technician right away, and then I'll study for the general. So if you feel that you're capable of passing the technician to start with, then you can get the technician done in like 15 minutes. And it's the same $35 whether you pass 1, 2, or 3 tests. So,
right.
So if there's a financial advantage to passing.
Right.
Tom had a question.
Tom.
Yeah. Does a ham cram exist for the extra?
No.
I don't think so.
Does not.
No.
Okay.
Doesn't. Now, so Malcolm, you're gonna be working on your general that Saturday, right?
Okay.
Right?
Okay. You can hear me, yes.
Attaboy. Good.
Use San Bruno email. It took 40 minutes for me to get it.
No comment. Okay. So we're gonna get Greg licensed.
I was going to say, if you want to do a technician before and then do your general, probably the best thing to do is find your favorite online ham testing service and just take their test until you can get over 90% 10 times in a row, and you should be able to walk in and kick the real test.
If you're studying on your own, be sure you're studying with the new book, because I think they changed the test just recently and the questions.
I'm hoping that the online services and the apps have updated, but I'm going to make an assumption that they're probably all close enough from the old tests that there's not a lot of really new material in the new test. But I could be wrong. John, do we have any word on that?
I think Ross said it was like 45 questions changed in the question pool.
Oh, okay.
I think they do 10%. I read somewhere 10%.
Yeah, there's 450 questions. So yeah, Tom's right on the numbers. But yeah, so.
Okay. So it is valuable to find a site that's using the current, and this is just for the technician, the one that just, the technician is the one that just, the entry level, that's the one that changed in July. And and that's the one you want to make sure.
The general change in about 2 years.
Right. They rotate 2 years, 2 years, 2 years. Malcolm.
So the current general book that I've had for a year on my shelf, that's the current one? Probably
is. If it's been on your shelf for a year, because
yeah, I'm looking at in the ARRL store, and it's not giving a version number.
Yeah, but
it should say in the book what the dates are.
Yeah, usually across the cover.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Valid for the time period. I don't have any of those books anymore. I gave mine away.
Did you give them to the library?
Pardon me? No, gave it to a friend who said they were going to take the test, and they never did.
Yeah.
It should be on the flyleaf. The date should be on the
shows.
Oh, there you go. Look at Tom.
The book kind of shows the dates of current that are current. I'm sure this book does. I'm sure most of them do. This is the general.
Okay. But if you really, there you can actually learn some things. But if you really just want to take the test and pass it, you can. I'm going to show you.
You can learn a lot from the books.
You can learn a lot from the books, but if you're trying to do it quickly, the little apps like this one, the one I used is by Roy Watson, N1ZTL, and this is the one for the extra, and it worked fine for me. But what's the other site? Is it QRZ? Does anybody happen to know what? There's one other site that a lot of people use. Tony, do you know which one that is?
Well, there is a QRZ.com, but I don't know that it's a a testing site. It's more of a database.
Yeah, but I mean the one that said there's one. I think that's the one that it will have a test on it. I'm going to quickly see if I can find it.
Just a question of those, the ham cram, are they multiple choice answers?
Yeah, they look just like the answers on the test, Jan. They are actually the same questions.
You guys got it easy, let me tell you.
Well, yeah, I know.
We used to have to draw schematics. It'd say draw a Colpitts oscillator, and we had to actually draw the thing.
Too easy.
You're trying to say you actually had to know something, huh, Janet?
There you go. Plus the code. Don't forget the code requirement.
Right.
Okay, so let's see. Log in.
Dave, while you're looking, so
okay.
we as a club are putting on the ham cram, correct?
Actually, it's John Swall and his buddies who are putting it on.
All right, so John, all right.
So I mean, we will sponsor it, but we do not have the resources or the experience right now to actually do it.
Right.
Okay. I would like to be at some point being able to do that, but we're not there yet. I'm going to take over the screen for just a second and show you. This is again. This is the QRZ site. You've got to register and log in, but here is the technician test. Greg, are you still with us? Mr. Burns?
I am. Got a couple of dogs that are
okay,
wanting me to give them dinner.
Oh, well, tell Wilma to do that. Anyway.
Throw them a treat.
Throw them a treat. Give them one of your sons, make it easy. So this is the QRZ site, okay? And under resources, it has practice amateur exams, okay? So here we go. What electrical component is used to protect other circuit components from current overloads?
Fuse.
Fuse. Okay, let's go to the next one. Correct. Okay.
Yep.
And then it shows us the next one. Okay. And then how much power is delivered by a voltage of 13.8 volts DC and a current of 10 amps?
Oh, man.
See.
Very good. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So which of the following results from the fact that signals propagate by the ionosphere are elliptically polarized? Maybe I like that one. Anyway, the bottom line is I'm going to show you, okay? I'm going to make a wrong one, see? Took the first one. Sorry, but there's not tried. So it's going to give you a chance to try it again. Yeah, there we go. Second, it's B1, okay? And it keeps going. So,
lucky guess, Dave.
I like the ones that say all of the above.
All the above. Oh, I always love those, but anyway. So bottom line is that's I'll stop sharing. So Tony, please go for it.
Yeah, thank you. For those of you who are not going through a ham cram or want to seek out an individual license, I have found that the test manuals put out by Gordon West are very, very easy to read and make the subject matter very learnable as opposed to some other straightforward license manuals.
Gordon West, I don't know if that's the one I used. Is that the one where he kind of weaves the questions through a text?
I believe so, yeah.
I'm just opening up my Kindle online here and see if I can find it. And I'll show you an example of that. But if you use like the app I used, basically you spend a week knocking on that thing and it'll tell you what percentage you got, and you keep going and going and going and going. And the point is when you get above 90, it's fairly safe to take the test.
And what I would also encourage, that once you've got your license, whether you do it on your own or a ham cram, immediately seek out an experienced ham to start using some of that information so that you don't forget it.
That's a very valid point.
I will even go to the point of offering myself as an Ilmer.
Thank you for that.
I concur.
I concur, and you can put me down for helping out too. That brings me to one of the next. I'm not sure if I can find it. I bought somebody's book here, and I've bought a couple. See, in my Kindles, I've got the amateur radio book. I think that's a version of what Tom has, and then there's another one for the extra class. These are the things I use for the extra class, and there was one other question that's the extra class, and I don't see it. It may be the one here with the phony covers.
Do they still put out the Sam's license handbooks? Howard Sam's?
I would imagine.
Pretty old.
Yeah, but it's probably been sorted by something else. But you know, there's a way to do it. The one thing I was going to come up to is, and you know, everybody who's still here tonight is a pretty experienced person. I mean, I know Tony, you could probably go over there and you could make thousands of dollars selling off his antennas on the roof. Okay. Okay, we won't do that because I like Tony. But the thing is that, you know, what I'd like to do somewhere down the line, and we've contracted on this now, Steve couldn't make it tonight. He probably just got off work. That's the problem at 6:30. And I think Tom asked the question about having some kind of hands-on days, because while Tom has a general license, Tom, you don't have a base station, right?
Correct.
Okay. So, and I know the other question you've got is about a mobile, which you haven't done, right?
Right, not yet.
Okay. So I would like to eventually do some things which maybe on the line of the coffee and a radio, maybe a coffee and some equipment questions. So maybe we could, like, one of these days, I want to set up a 40-meter NVIS antenna in a park or on a football field or something. Find some other people who've got the same thing and see if we can communicate in an emergency mode close by, because that's what NVIS kind of does. I know the military uses them, but the bottom line is I would like to do some things that do show and tell and show people what equipment does and that. The other stupid ideas I have, and I mentioned this at the coffees, is, and again, pretty much everybody here are, you know, I got the people who are really interested in good. I'd like to reach out to the people who don't. I think we lost Ron Ruggles. I kind of jokingly said, HRO, we don't have any ham stores close by. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking, we get hold of an India Conceal and we say, hey, we'll come up there and we'll throw some money in your slot machines, but can we make a stop at HRO in Sacramento first? You know, I as an outing, I'd like to know if anybody ever would be interested in doing that. The other thing that I'm thinking of doing, and again, for this group, you probably don't have any great questions, and I'm going to try to make a connection to Pacificon if I can. I think I will go, and maybe go talk to the people at HRO and see if they would like to be a speaker at, say, the November meeting, and come on and just anybody wants to buy equipment, have equipment questions and do show and tell, because they're the closest equipment, to my knowledge, equipment store to any of us. And if people want to, maybe if he wants to say, oh, that question, here's the device, and what do you think of that? And and do some things where we can ask questions. Or if somebody wants to, we'll chase down some manufacturers maybe. Anyway, I'm always looking for ideas for things that you would like to do. Again, I've got some pretty talented folks here who are probably way more educated in radio than I am. The people who are not here are the people I would like to reach. anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
Janet, please.
let's have a quick comment. Our last month's meeting, do you remember that woman that popped up? It was, I've seen her. She belongs to a organization called YLRL. Anybody familiar with that?
I think I know who you're talking about. Do you know her name?
Yeah, it's Carol Malazzo. She's with the YLRL, which stands for Young Ladies Radio League, which I've belonged to for many years. And we used to have nets all over the country. And they still do a lot of that. And they always have a presence at Pacificon. And our nets, just so you know, we always welcome any OMs that would like to check into the YL nets.
Yeah, there you go. That one thing I want to do is I'd like to get some of the people for a future meeting, and maybe we can get more people to come, is to get some people who operate some of these nets and explain some of these nets. And again, probably who finds the late night nets? I mean, Tony, Tony, 300 and some odd countries. What is that you've reached?
Well, I call them entities because not everything.
They're not all countries. I know that.
Right. Where I'm sitting at 323. 323.
So, I mean, I hate to say it, but to me, that's an expert sitting in the corner of this, because he has figured out how to do that. And
experienced.
He's also had breakfast with the Pope.
No.
Well, but who did you get to use their radio equipment?
Vatican City.
Yeah, so you're basically, you and the Pope are like this anyway.
Well, kind of.
Okay, kind of.
He doesn't write as often as I'd like.
Yeah, I wish and he just his Morse code is just not what it used to be.
That's right.
Yeah.
Put it mounted on his wheelchair arm.
Yeah, the wheelchair or whatever. Anyway, but the thing is that we do have some talent here, and I know that my thoughts are probably way, aimed at folks who are not here. So someday we got to figure out how to get more folks who are not here to come. And if anybody has any ideas, Malcolm, speaking of the people I really am aiming to, hi Guy, tell me about it.
I have a link on the club website that allows people to join our meeting.
We have links on our club website.
I got $5 if you can show it to me. Neither my wife and I can.
It's on the front page.
The front page.
Yeah.
Annie up.
The link to tonight's meeting is on the front page.
Dave?
Yeah. Tell people it was broken.
Not an expert, but experienced nonetheless. If you want to have coffee sometime and discuss some ideas, let me know.
Okay. Well, we can. I'd be more than happy to. And if you want to drop into our little sessions at Starbucks, you're always welcome too. But no,
thank you. I appreciate that.
With you. We can chat.
That would be great, actually, to have somebody like Tony come to our Thursday meeting.
As long as y'all stay 6 feet away from me.
I guess we could do that.
Unfortunately, I'm a high risk. Okay, so I'm going to be masked and I'll be taking precautions. That's all.
I did too.
I want Tony to take care of himself because I always want to have him as a resource.
Yeah.
So,
anybody with any common sense at this time will wear a mask when they're, I was watching the Giants game and there's thousands of people in the stadium and nobody's wearing a mask. What the heck?
Janet, you know what they call them?
Spreader event.
New cases.
All right.
I'll tell you, I've been to 18 states in the last month and almost nobody's wearing masks.
Except
even on a train to Denver, some people started wearing masks, but then, by Salt Lake, nobody was.
Great solution to the population explosion.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They're all going to have what is that? When they die from that, they're going to get that. Oh God, I forgot.
I don't know. But anyway.
Welcome to my world, Janet.
So anyway,
really.
So that's where we're kind of stand. Anybody got some thoughts or ideas or questions or some, you know? And Ollie, you're supposed to work on your son to get him his general license.
Oh, anybody go to the National Night Out in their town?
The what?
National
August
Night
Night Out. It was August 2nd.
National Police Night Out.
Oh.
Well, but tons of firemen came
Police
as
and
well.
fire.
Police
Nope.
and fire. Pretty cool.
Anyway, folks, I've got dinner waiting, so
Yep.
great to see everybody. I will bid adieu. Stay in touch.
Stay well.
We'll make things happen.
Stay well, everybody.
7-3's all.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Tony. Thank you for coming by. Matthew, you still here? Good. Anyway, so anything else anybody wants to chew the fat over? I mean, Walt, thank you. You're there. Okay.
Just a comment. I sent you the link to the county comms, CERT comms meeting, and albeit sent it a little late. But anyhow, it kind of didn't happen. Besides Deborah, I was the only other one to show up.
Actually, I tried to do that Friday night, the date that was on that.
It's Thursday night.
Yeah, I know. She put the wrong date on it. And she told me you were the only one who showed up.
Yes.
So she's going to put me on her list naturally. Because Mr. Swallow also was on the list. That's why, John, I texted you if you were in that meeting. He doesn't know what I'm talking about. But your buddy Deborah Patton, John.
Yep.
She's your buddy, right?
Yep. I know, Dad.
Anyway, so yeah, I thank you, Walt, for sending it along to me. You know, in the future, I guess the next one's gonna be like somewhere down the line, she told me. So
I think late September, and they're normally Thursdays.
yeah, it's a third Thursday, and I think isn't that the EM Emergency Preparedness Committee?
It's used to be the fourth Thursday, and then it's been pushed around based on her schedule.
Yeah, so whatever will happen will happen. So anything else, guys? Or we all run? Oh, Janet.
Yeah, Ollie, I was going to ask, was your son Oliver at the National Night Out this year? I was kind of looking for him. I didn't see him.
I don't think he was.
I usually say hi.
He's hiding. I don't blame him.